Hey, what's up? Oh my God, we've been split in half.
Ah! No, this is a creative choice by Zack Snyder. He feels that this is gonna. I'm sorry.
Yes, we thought we'd be similarly sloppy. Can you find the dead pixel on the screen? Winner gets a T-shirt. Yes, welcome to Honest Trailer Commentaries, where we will be talking about this week's Honest Trailer, give you our behind-the-scenes thoughts, check out some deleted scenes, respond to comments and questions from viewers like you. So keep them going in the chat, and then we'll tease you with next week's Honest Trailer. I'm rushing this intro, but you know what wasn't rushed? Army of the Dead, a film that really took its time. A 2.5-hour zombie movie portending the arrival of 3 more zombie movies / series on Netflix, directed by Screen Junkie's favorite director, Zachary J. Snyder. I don't know his middle name. This was a film. This was a lot of film. And joking aside, I was ready to love this one, man. I loved his Dawn of the Dead remake. That is my favorite movie of his by a long shot. And it's like, all right, all the DC stuff, the Warner Brothers is behind him. Back to basics, Snyder. Like, let's just have a really nihilistic zombie movie. And it was almost, but not quite that for me. We can talk about it more in detail, but what's your guys' broad strokes, thumbs up, thumbs down review of this movie?
I wanted a carnival, and I was given like a state fair.
I love the state fair. They always have such large pigs.
Yeah,
But
and you can pet them and touch them, but
Can I throw maybe more of a county? I feel like we're at more of a county fair. A state fair,
This is a bad analogy for me because the county fair you get Smash Mouth, like it's always a good time. You get a fried guacamole ball.
I feel like this is straight up OC County Fair territory we're in right now.
I love the OC County Fair. Anyways,
we'll call this a bounce house. We'll call it a bounce house. I just, I like, if you're going to go all out, I want the all out. And the zombie tiger gave me a lot of expation that I feel like it wasn't, it didn't give me in terms of.
Man, that zombie tiger sure liked laying down before a fight. Sure like running up and then kind of turning around.
Yeah, so that's kind of my broad strokes thoughts is I wish it was a little, I'm glad there were no jump scares because I do not like jump scares. But I wish that there was just a little more. You're going to give me Vegas. You're going to give me zombies. I want a little more just wildness than what I think I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, my number one complaint about the movie that really like bothered me throughout and kind of took me out of even the things I normally would have found fun was
how blurry it was.
Yes, how constantly playing around with the depth of field. Like he's trying to direct our eye even within a shot. So if there's a person talking to another person, he's only going to focus on the person he wants you to pay attention to at the time. And that's obnoxious. Like, let me look where I want to look. And it wastes the largely impressive production design. Like they created this bombed out zombie Vegas world for these characters to have this adventure in, and it looks really cool, and we like barely get to see it because he's constantly like only focusing on the person in the foreground, and it just looks like they're in glaucoma world, and we can't see make out anything in the background, and it's a real shame. So that bothered me in terms of the filmmaking, but it also just feels like it's just not fun. Like the opening credit sequence where we see the zombies take over Vegas is super fun. Like stripper zombies and guys, old gamblers getting their toupees snatched off by zombies, like Elvis zombies. Like I feel like that's what the promise of a Vegas zombie movie is. And then the rest of the movie doesn't really deliver on that promise at all. It's just like a adventure movie in a zombie city. It doesn't feel like it has that humor.
I mean, I have a pitch for the remake, which is maybe that's when you set the zombie heist, is like when they're still cordoning off Vegas, and like it would make maybe more sense for the government to nuke it immediately instead of letting it marinate for several months. A bomb's going to come down on Vegas. They're surrounding the city. That's when you send in your team of mercs.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, in a world building sense, the idea that they're just going to like surround Vegas with shipping containers and just be like, all right, zombies, you do you. We're going to just like hang out. Like, it just doesn't seem very realistic. And it also seems like, I think we've learned from the last year, like, you're not just going to be able, like, if people have already figured out, because there's a coyote who knows the way in and out, like, and is ferrying people in and out of the zombie zone. Like, it would have taken 3 days for zombieism to spread around the world. Like, there's no way we would have realistically contained it to Vegas for months.
Anywho, we have so many more thoughts about this movie. Let's roll the trailer because I think it'll give us ample opportunity to talk about what didn't make it in, because I got lost.
Oh man.
From the love child of Joe Rogan and Michael Bay comes a Zack Snyder film with no one at the studio telling him how to write a script.
Easy peasy, Japanesey.
How to direct a performance.
And I'll probably die.
Or how to focus the camera. Focus. Focus, please. Focus. Focus now.
So pause. I mean, this is like Snyder Unleashed, right? Like this is the pure undiluted vision where like maybe this shows you that sometimes not all studio notes are bad, because I feel like Netflix, if they were a traditional studio, they'd be like, Zach, buddy, like this is a zombie heist Vegas movie. Like it's not the Justice League. You don't have to have like juggle 17 iconic characters at once. They should be in, they should be out probably before 120 minutes. Maybe you can cut some of this, right? Like, shouldn't this have been a shorter movie?
Yeah, I don't know that we needed an hour to get the team together.
Right.
No, there's unnecessary setup with the team, and they don't end up being distinct characters anyway. Like if you're going to spend a lot of time setting up the crew, but then it's like, oh, we really know a lot and care about the members of the crew. Great, I'm with that. But they end up just being kind of generic badass characters anyway, so it's not like time well spent. But I
Netflix
think
is just they're in the content business. They're a content company.
Yeah.
Well,
they just want content.
To your point, it feels a little bit the I'm going to mess around with the focus thing the whole time. Feels a bit like the I'm going to do the whole movie in 4:3 Justice League decision, where it's like sometimes these decisions kind of feel like a whim. Like he just likes the way this looks and I'm going to do the whole movie like that. And that is an opportunity where maybe a studio would come in and be like, do we really want to do this tentpole movie this way? Like, think about, like, even just giving him that moment of pause to think about whether the whole movie needs to have this elaborate
I know you're making this
gimmick.
for IMAX, but everyone's going to be watching it at home.
Right.
So...
Or like, I get that it's, yeah. And I get that in one scene using depth of field to like throw off people or for a surprise or whatever can work. But every scene using it is just too much and is like annoying. Like, and I think like sometimes it might help to have people in his
I think
ear.
that could have helped if, like Danielle, you were saying, like there weren't jump scares, but this could have been used as like a constant jump scare device if they did want to make this like a claustrophobic movie. But then it's not a claustrophobic movie. It's basically an action movie. It's definitely not a heist movie. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, it serves against the epic scale. Like, you want more of the background to be clear because you want to give us a sense for this adventure happening in this crazy setting. It runs counter to his purpose. And that's a thing I think a studio note would, like, Warner Brothers would have brought that up at some point. Like, hey, maybe focus more.
All right, keep going.
Also, that song is about the Irish Republican Army, Zach. You don't need to use that.
Oh, we'll get
song.
to that. We'll get
Focus.
to that. Keep going.
Focus. 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 Army of the Dead. Zombies have taken over Las Vegas thanks to Roadhead gone wrong. Oh my Lord! And now the whole city looks like a Spirit Halloween, a paintball field, with the government from Idiocracy all set to drop a nuke.
Dropping the nuke on the 4th would be, quote, really cool and actually kind of patriotic if you think about it.
There's just a few days left for a billionaire to hire some mercs to rob his own casino. But don't worry, that dumb plan is just cover for the military's even dumber plan.
Power to control your own zombie army.
Which is just cover for one woman's
pause.
even dumber.
I mean, look, they're all dumb plans. It's dumb plans all the way down, right? Mm-hmm. But for the billionaire, for nobody to ask during the like orientation, like, hey, we're robbing your own safe. What's the code?
Also,
you own this place. Can you just let us in?
Booby traps. Want to tell us about them?
Yeah.
Well, my favorite booby trap thing is, okay, you're designing a casino vault and it's going to be robbery proof. And at one point, if a person doesn't know to turn off the booby traps, a wall just slams shut on them killing anyone who's there. Would you then have that wall retract, thus revealing your vault? Like it's there to slam one person to death and then it turns itself off? Like,
and then somebody's got to reset.
The wall should stay shut until you're like verifying that the thieves are gone. Like, also, it's just like, when that wall retracts, you're going to have body viscera goo to clean up. Like, it's just a stupid plan regardless. Like, whose job is it to clean up after that goes off? But there's so much like that it's almost pointless to like, I feel like there's so much craziness that you just have to be like, all right, it's all just crazy.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's complicated for the sake of being complicated, because it's like, you also have the military who wants to capture a zombie live, right?
Right.
Now, they've already completely cordoned off Vegas, and they control all of Las Vegas and the checkpoints, and they have these camps and stuff like that. Is it really necessary to piggyback on like a group of like one last shot heist veterans to go get a zombie? Or can you just send in SEAL Team Z or whatever and come back out?
But also, please recall the opening of the movie, which is the military moving a zombie from one facility to another. Anyway,
the Alpha.
so they already had a zombie. They should already have tissue samples, whatever data they need. It started with them. They're like trying to get a specimen of their own creation.
Right.
Like, shouldn't they have logs of everything they did that they could just replicate?
Right. And then on top of that, the military some kind of public-private partnership. They have like they have Martin. They have like the double agent like sent along for the ride, where his true mission is to get a zombie head.
The most obvious betray, like he like shows up like, hey, I'm here to betray the mission at the last second. Yeah. They're like, hey, I don't trust you. We're gonna fight the whole time, but please come along.
The craziest part is
we'll give you a perfect opportunity to betray us.
There was zero point to him betraying them. He got what he wanted. He has the zombie head in the bag. Continue with your life. Like,
they've made a perfectly reasonable deal that works. Like, these guys want the money. He wants the zombie head. Neither one has any vested interest in stopping the other one.
Yeah. Why screw each other over? Like, just leave with your head.
Yeah. It makes no sense at all. It's just like a betrayal just because they wanted to add that obstacle. But it's a 2.5-hour movie. You don't need any more obstacles. Crazy.
Oh, okay. All right, keep going.
Witches is cover for one woman's even dumber plan to avoid raising some kids.
In case anything happens to me in the next few days, just make sure the kids make it out to Barstow, okay?
I'm coming with you.
Which is just cover for one company's even dumber plan to launch an entire shared universe off one average zombie movie. Hey, remember when we had way too much zombie stuff? Like 5 years ago? Cool. If you want to pull off a great heist, you're gonna need the perfect crew. Gear up with one damaged badass. 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 A couple of fun-loving badasses. And the world's most obvious traitor.
I don't trust you. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust any of these people, but especially you.
But no crew is truly complete without a show-stealing comic relief.
Well, pause before we get into the Tig Notaro stuff. I mean, the crew is actually a perfect fit for the heist plan, which is just a very dumb smash and grab. It's just like you assemble this diverse group of characters for a heist movie because the robbery is going to take so many different skills. You're going to have to fool people. Then you're going to need the acrobat guy. Then you're going to need the getaway driver. Then I guess Tig is the getaway driver. But they always have these different, very specialized roles. But theirs is just like, shoot, open money, carry money upstairs, fly away.
Yeah. But you needed an influencer.
You needed an influencer.
Yeah, the influencer. That's such a weird beat.
Every crew needs an influencer.
Yeah, right. It feels like there's so much there are things about this scenario that Zack Snyder is very interested in, but none of them are the heist. Like, all of them are like the hierarchy of zombie society. Like, he's fascinated by that. And we get a lot of time spent on that doesn't end up really paying off. Like, here are the alphas and here are the drones and they take them here and then the humans go here. And it's just like all doesn't really add up. And like all these other kinds of zombies and like these zombies can't get, they'll get rained on and come back to life. All sorts of stuff like that.
It's very, dare I say, and I hate to put these in the same breath because this is a much superior film and much more enjoyable, but very dark universe Mummy vibes.
Yeah, well, right. It's just like there's so much material that's obviously being like put in. I mean, I think we mentioned it later, but there is a robot zombie that goes not explained, right? I'm not crazy, right? That's in there.
It's in the
You
wiki.
see a zombie face pulled away, and there's like a robot face, right?
Yeah, there's several there's a couple robot zombies.
There's zombies.
We'll get to that one. Keep
but like that's what I mean. Like that's the time I feel like you need to spend some of that giving us a little bit more of like, okay, there's these 4 steps to the heist, and these are the people we need to help us pull it off.
Yeah. And now let's talk Tig. Keep going.
Knocks those roles out of the park like Tig Notaro. Because when you get a pro like Tig Notaro, you just sit back and let Tig Notaro do what Tig Notaro does best. Appeal to a younger audience. Experience a film.
I thought this was pretty seamless. I was kind of fascinated.
There's like 2 shots with a big group of people together where you can kind of see that she doesn't like the plane, she's just like not quite lined up the way a real person would be. But I think he did himself a huge favor of there's a lot of just like there's a lot of like reverse shot kind of setups anyway, because they're in these tight spaces. So it's pretty seamless for the most part. Like it does seem like her and Batista are in a helicopter together, even though they never were.
Yeah. And I think that she's an improvement. I mean, she made me laugh. I can't say the same for Chris D'Elia.
I don't know that he's ever made me laugh, but Tig made me laugh in this a whole bunch. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's one of the best characters, which is like crazy because you think of chemistry on set as being part of what would make like especially a comic relief kind of character work. And she was saying these lines to nobody on a green screen, but
well, I think that was fun, and it kind of fit almost because her character is one who's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't really care what's going on. I'm just kind of gonna be chilling over here, commenting on stuff. So it was very meta.
I feel like she's legit made a case for like you can cast her as like a badass in your action ensemble now. Like I feel like this cements like I could see Tig Notaro in more of these kinds of roles for sure.
Yeah, which is crazy, but
yeah, it's not expected.
You'll have to see it.
I'm in. Yeah.
All right, keep going.
About broke veterans stealing money during a zombie apocalypse. That's somehow not a commentary on anything.
We're not in America anymore, haven't you heard?
Now it's about all that cool new zombies.
Technically makes it an even freer country, right?
Whatever.
Where the only theme is the zero the team gives about each other.
Don't go! No, we're a team!
I brought a guy in once, lost sight of him, had to leave him.
What are we doing? Just go!
Let's go!
Au revoir. Come on, leave her! She's dead!
Don't screw me!
Just something I thought of in seeing her is like, why is that character French? Why is there a French lady that goes in and out of the whatever?
Yeah,
why
is
the refugee camp directly next to Zombie Vegas? That doesn't seem smart.
No, not really.
It seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. It seems like
well, it's just like, I mean, the whole idea of the quarantine is just row of shipping containers. Like that's it. Like there's no, like there are guards, but like a few of them. Like it's not, you would think that this would be heavily guarded, like at least as hard to get onto as like a random military base.
I feel like every dumb, all the dumb government decisions though are sort of justified because it tells you that like, oh, we've got, President Camacho in this universe.
Right.
So
yes. That does go a long way. That it's all, it was like this happened in an already like dystopian version of our world, I guess.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
Just go!
So that's a pretty common theme for you? Leaving people behind?
But there's no time for social satire when there's so many awesome ideas to introduce and never follow up on. Like robot zombies. What's their deal? Who knows? Rain zombies.
You should see what happens when it rains. For a few hours, they all come back to life.
We should see that, but we don't. Zombie sex. How's that possible? TBD. And the awesome zombie killing saw that keeps getting teased.
You ready to play? Don't ever touch my saw again, okay?
Check out Saw.
Here it comes. It's zombie saw in time. Wait, what? They only use it to make a door? Is Snyder saving the good stuff for the prequel, the sequel, the anime prequel, or the Snyder cut? So settle it.
I mean, that is what the movie needed more of, is like the Saw and like the improvised what's that video game franchise, Dead Rising, where it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're in Vegas, or like his Dawn of the Dead remake where they make like the school bus zombie killing machine. Like, it needed more fun blowing up zombie devices. No? Am I crazy?
Yeah, no, I definitely wanted more Saw. I was definitely bummed that we didn't get to see more of that at all.
Yeah, it's like a B movie that's trying to pretend that it's an A movie, and it's like nobody wants that. We don't want like a prestige zombie movie. We want like the outrageous, over the top, cartoonish, ridiculous thing. And like, especially if you're selling it as heist zombie movie in Vegas, like it should be I guess, it's like what Danielle was saying, like at the very top, like it should be the full on balls to the wall, most extreme version of itself. And you could feel it holding back, both, I think, because there's these 4 other projects that they have to service, but also like, I don't know, it just feels like it's weirdly holding back in a way.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. And like, I don't know why it would.
I want them to like use the craziness of Vegas more as like as a backdrop. Like they had a shootout in a casino, but like have a fight on like the Blue Man Group stage.
Or they have to go there's like zombies on the roller coaster at the top of the stratosphere or something, like what's happening inside Circus right now? Like go
Excalibur
for it.
or whatever. Get some zombie jousting.
Hanging off of those aerial things off of Cirque du Soleil with like a gun and a saw. How dope would that be?
Yeah,
here comes all of Magic Mike XXL live review thrusting in our direction.
I don't know what on earth would cause you to hold back on something like this. It's Army of the Dead in Vegas. Just go for it, man.
All right, keep going.
For some classic Snyder that may not be his best zombie flick, but it's got a great opening credit sequence. Then a bunch of overlong nonsense that's not as fun as it should be, especially when you put a better idea for a movie in the movie.
There's another team of grave robbers.
It could be us in another timeline, and we're caught in some infinite loop of fighting and dying.
I would much rather watch that story.
Any idea what the hell we're hauling? Amelia Earhart, but alive.
Or that one.
Open a new food truck. Just thinking artisan grilled cheese sandwiches.
Or that one. Starring Dave Bautista, looking like he's holding in a sneeze.
Pause. I'm glad we landed on that because he has that expression so many times.
A lot. I love Dave Bautista as an actor. I really do. Like, I'm a fan. I think he's great in Blade Runner. I think he's great in the Guardians movies. I like him in Spectre a lot. But yeah, in this one, he doesn't. I don't know. He's being asked to do a mood that just doesn't come as naturally to him, and his response is looking like he has to sneeze.
He also is great at making glasses look very, very small.
Yes,
Makes normal size glasses look tiny.
That would have been a note for me. Can we have an excuse to put Bautista in another pair of tiny glasses?
They did. I feel like, but I think they're normal size glasses. He just makes them look tiny.
No, right. Yes. Human glasses for Dave Bautista are tiny glasses.
All right, keep playing.
That was the
Clockwise
shot
Orange. Chris deleted. Psalms of Anarchy. Tommy Wiseau. You saw nothing. I guess Flula had a scheduling conflict. Zom Influencer. 8 simple rules for eviscerating my teenage daughter. Get over here! And rob my casino for me. Tricky Martin. Lily Vegas Multipass. And I'm dead! World War.
It's very Mad Magazine of us.
You know, you'd think a guy on his way to steal $200 million in cash would have a better plan for carrying it all up to the roof. I mean, I know he's shaped like an upside-down triangle and all, but that's 4,400 pounds, dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like other movies where there's a heist, they very often will have to. That'll be part of the challenge to the team. Is like, and then how do we move all of that money out? It's so heavy. And this one, they just like
we carry it to the roof.
We haul it ourselves because we're badasses. They just don't even engage with that question.
Not the smartest movie, but not dumb enough. I don't think. That's my review.
I had in my notes, like with the saw, like that I thought we could put that Simpsons beat in of like, oh, but look at that guy with the saw. He hasn't done anything yet. You just know when he does, it's gonna be cool. And like I really was waiting for the payoff to put that in, and then it never comes.
Never happened. Yeah. Oh well. Well,
have to wait to the Book of Saw Part 2.
Let's get into what we cut. But first, thank y'all for watching. Please like, please subscribe, hit that bell if you agree with us. And even if you don't, you can come back on here every week and argue with us online because we will be responding to your comments after these deleted scenes. Roll them.
Hey, does this movie ever say what happens to those kids and their mom in the end? No? Couldn't find time in 2.5 hours to wrap that up, huh? Cool. Starring Death Becomes Her. A real head-turner. We'll fix it in post. Glenn Danzig. Man, Chris Angel got old. Saw no saw. Das Goof. Delete your account. I volunteer as tribute.
I just want to, just so other people can enjoy, we were talking on Slack last week about Chris Angel's new restaurant in Vegas.
Yeah, it's like CABLP.
CABLP.
But for Chris Angel, breakfast
lunch,
and pizza. It's in the 3 food groups, or the 3 meals of the day. Breakfast,
3
lunch,
squares
and
a day,
pizza.
breakfast, lunch, and pizza.
And when he says CABLP, we don't mean capital C period A period.
No,
LP.
it's capital
C, capital C, lowercase ABLP. Capital.
The worst name for a restaurant. But we were just pointing out, like, Mind Eats or Mind Treats or like right there.
Mouth Freak,
like,
yeah.
Couldn't be more obvious. You've got a famous name associated with you already, you idiots.
Chris Angel's Mind Treats, but no.
Yeah, how perfect is that? That's it. That's the name of the restaurant. Cabable.
Yeah. I was saying it had to be him drunk texting his business manager and then it's just like refusing to admit he made a mistake the next day.
It's like just also not a guy I associate with like
eating
food or like why, like the magician to food, assuming that I'm going to follow you on that journey is a weird presumption.
I would be terrified if every waiter is a close-up magic person at this restaurant.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that at all.
But they have to, right? To make it make sense. Like at least they have to do at least one. Your tots are actually over here.
If it's not your waiter, there's at least close-up magic happening in the restaurant. Like somebody's coming over to your table and doing something messy.
Like a serenade. Like if you want to propose and it's like, is this your ring? Oh.
Right.
But it's like in the guy's nipple.
Yeah, there's not a person. There's not a person going around selling flowers for your date. It's like endless handkerchiefs.
That's not mind freaky enough though. It has to be like a bunch of like salamanders, like a bag of salamanders.
Yeah, bag of salamanders for your date. Would you like this bag of salamanders?
We'll do our next live show from Kabulp. Don't worry. See you there. Kabulp. Okay, keep going.
Tribute. Sergeant Daughter. One last big scorpion. There's something I don't trust about that guy. Coyote Ugly. And MC Scat Cat. And Barfield. Fear and Looting in Las Vegas.
That's very clever.
Ocean's 11. Zack Snyder presents Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead from the Book of Snyder.
I want that.
I like that one too.
All right, some deleted scenes for you.
There you go.
But we're not the only ones talking. Y'all have been talking in the chat. Here's from Barbara Johnson. Is this the beginning of another wave of zombie movies / shows or the last gasp? I have to think this is the last gasp, or it's the start of its own little pocket zombie universe of just Snyder zombie stuff, right? Because Walking Dead is not going strong, or am I out of the loop?
I mean, the original Walking Dead is wrapping up. It's got one more season, but they've got several spin-offs already going and maybe movies. I feel like zombies are just like with us now. Like I feel like that trend crested. Like we don't have as much zombie content as we did during the peak, But I think every few years somebody's going to try to like reinvent the zombie wheel, you know, like that's it's just that there's a permanent interest in the undead at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Louis Valenzuela writes, if each subsequent sequel did follow a trend of using a different genre to do a zombie movie, what would you want? Well, I feel like you're going straight to the rom-com, huh?
Straight to the rom-com. Rom-com.
Is that zomcom? Is that between two zombies or a human and a zombie?
Well, there have been a few sort of attempts, right? Like Life After Beth and Warm Bodies. Okay. Yeah.
Is it a meet cute? MEAT?
Yeah. Pew, pew, pew.
I see what you did there. I feel like a buddy action, like a Midnight Run, where it's like a regular human and a zombie, and they're like handcuffed to each other, and they gotta like get through this ordeal to get to the end, you know.
Okay. I mean, I'm psyched for them to adapt Marvel Zombies because I just think it's so messed up and fun to watch them all team up to just eat each other and tons of people, and like it's like Captain America, so he knows what he's doing is wrong, but he can't stop eating Spider-Man. It's really effed up. I love it.
I feel like they're gonna have to send that one to Hulu. I don't feel like that's gonna make it on Disney Plus.
But if Snyder's making it, I don't think it'll matter what other genre it is, because this was not a heist movie, even though this was a robbery movie. They took money out of the safe.
That's kind of the thing with the zombie genre, though, is like it overwhelms whatever other, you know, whatever else you mix it with, you know, like it's the overpowering flavor. So like it's hard to sustain your other genre when you've got zombies going on.
Okay, London Rowlett writes, I'm gonna actually broaden this question a little. If you could insert Tig Notaro into any other zombie show / movie, what would it be and how? I'm gonna say any other show or movie. Who are you taking out and taking in?
Romeo and Juliet, and I want her to play Tybalt.
Okay. Right, she's in place of Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, Leguizamo was Leguizamo Tybalt? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Correct. The Prince of Cats, Tig Notaro.
Yeah, he's the Prince of Cats. Yeah, exactly. This is a good question. I'm gonna go ahead and say Titanic, the Billy Zane role.
Ooh.
I'd like to see Tig Notaro try her hand at like upper crust. You know, how dare you put your hands on my fiance? That guy. But it's Tig Notaro.
I'll do my usual stock answer, which is Turtle from Entourage. I think her joining Vinny and the boys is exactly what that show needed. Okay, and then finally, Cody Smith asks, will COVID have a lasting effect on the horror genre? I think it will, in the sense that we know how people will believably react to a pandemic, which is half the people will do nothing and pretend it doesn't exist. So I guess it makes zombie movies more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already seeing, like, we're going to see more movies about being isolated, feeling claustrophobic. There's a place you can't leave. You're unsafe around a lot of people. I feel like those ideas just resonate. I mean, obviously that was already a lot of themes of horror before the pandemic, but I think those ideas really resonate even more so with people now. And so filmmakers are going to try to latch onto that however they can.
Yeah. I mean, this movie sort of had COVID implications in it, but it was made pre-pandemic.
Well, there is one scene where they link like, oh, the government is requiring like temperature checks and all of these public safety protocols, and the cops are using it for like underhanded, as excuses to mess with people and be prejudiced against people. And that did feel like it was kind of intended as commentary, but of course this was made in 2019 before he could have known about it. So it's just a coincidence. Yeah.
Accidental genius, much like Todd Phillips' Joker, but that's a whole other discussion. I think that's all the time. We're not going to overstay our welcome like Army of the Dead. We're going to get out of here. It's just a tight 30. But we will be back next week for something that I'm liking a lot. So it'll be more fun to talk about, but harder to write jokes about. But we will be back for another very powerful piece of content.
Yeah.
We'll call it content. Lon, Danielle, thank you as always. Audience, y'all are the best. Please come back, because we will, next Tuesday for another episode of Honest Trailer Commentaries. See you then. Bye-bye.